Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Podcast in a Tree. This is our third episode. My name's Tim Batt.
My name's Guy Montgomery.
I'm absolutely thrilled to be here for this episode. I hope the vision goes okay. Guy's got a little selfie camera situation going on. We look good. We're in a proper climbing tree this time, brother.
Yeah, we're in Francis Reserve in Greylin, Auckland, New Zealand. It's a sunny afternoon. I actually can't nail down the make of this tree. Is
Pine. We'll go with pine, eh?
You wouldn't call it the make, would you?
The make of the
someone
tree.
else has had a hand in the creation of the tree.
The model is tree, and the make is, I think, pine. Pinus radiatus.
Is that right?
I hear people say that a lot in New Zealand. I hear it's said at gardening centres, and I believe them.
For better or worse, Tim, do you know, I trust your instincts if you're using a sort of vaguely scientific phrase with Latin heritage. I think, Tim wouldn't lie about that.
Certainly not.
Or if you talk about technology,
yeah,
you could be making a lot of things up, but I think, no, Tim wouldn't do that.
Funny thing is, I am.
Making things up?
Constantly.
Really?
No, not really.
Well,
why would I lie about technology? What a thing to lie about.
For fun, for sport.
This is, the previous trees we've been in haven't had this kind of like built-in childlike climbability, and I've missed it, to be honest. The other trees that we've been in,
naturally,
Guy's a bit chuffed with himself, and he's got every right to be, because he's made an incredible shot. We're making magic here on the video cameras. We've got so many cameras with us in this tree. The other situation is this is essentially a children's park, a lot of playground equipment here.
I said as I came into Tim that not a lot feels more sinister than walking past a children's playground packed to the hilt with cameras and then going into a bush.
Yes. But this is an interesting tree as well, because we've got things going on. There's actually a dog house. What do you call that?
A kennel.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say kennel, but then a kennel's where you send your dog when it needs to like live somewhere for a little bit.
That's the kennels.
Oh,
so
my bad.
That's like the difference between an apartment.
I'm a fucking idiot.
And apartments.
Whoa,
easy, brother.
Sorry.
Easy.
My bad.
Well, because you're being a little hard on yourself there, and I don't know why. Where's your head at? How are you feeling? Are you relaxed or are you tense?
I feel great. I feel aggressively good.
Okay.
There's also, just above my head is this sort of makeshift level.
I would call it an abandoned ledge. So some people gathered up some wood, some leaves. It's sort of like a human nest.
It is. It's a bird's nest, but big.
This tree lends itself to high climbing. So I got up there and got a bird's eye view, or in my instance, a man's eye view from on high. And it's rotten to its core. If you were to put a foot on it, it would crumble. And we've avoided that. So instead, we're perched neatly beneath it. It's acting like some sort of canopy or roof, sheltering us from the elements. And the elements today are generous. I would describe the elements as sun,
wind,
and
water.
Oh yeah,
heart.
No,
volcanoes.
No,
and time. Those are the elements that were sheltered from inside this tree dome.
You've waylaid yourself.
There's also what appears to be, because I remember hearkening back to our inaugural episode, you described a hammock-like situation that you made as a child in your tree. We've kind of had a run-in with a similar thing.
No, this is a lot more.
Do you want to get a selfie cam on that, guy, so people can...
So essentially, it is... I'll just go like that there. It's... Well, it's an old blanket that's been tied off at two ends. No one could lie in there. It looks like it's been abandoned. This is like finding one kid's shoe on the side of the street.
So actually so I had this pegged as like a kid's play area. Do you think maybe a rough sleeper's actually taken up residence in this tree? Because both the possibilities.
Maybe split the difference. Maybe the kids over that fence there, when they run away from home, they run to the tree. And maybe they're a teenager now. And so they're sort of developing a few more adult amenities, a ledge, a blanket.
I was thinking about this, guy, and I wanted to pose this to you. We live in Auckland, in New Zealand, for the moment.
There's simply no denying it.
And we have something of a housing shortage at the moment. And I was wondering what you thought about maybe if we started living in trees as a possibility to...
You and I?
Maybe all of us.
All of the people?
Yeah. We've got a lot of trees here, but we don't have enough houses. And it seems to me this would be a fine place to live.
So all of the people, everyone who's not already in a house goes in a tree.
Yep.
And the people who are in houses stay in houses.
Yeah, it seems a waste to not use the ones that are there.
This doesn't feel like a win to us. This feels like everyone stays in the house, and then suddenly there's a whole lot of tree people as well, which it does make for some sort of intriguing version of class or home warfare.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
But-
I need to keep
I
thinking
think
of some solutions.
Don't be afraid to put that one back in the barn burner and walk around it a few more times. See if you
It'd
can
be
come up
quite
with any-
interesting though. This dual citizenship. New Zealand could be a country of what I would call city folk, and the term city folk would become quite disparaging. It's what the tree people call people who don't live in trees, the city folk.
Yeah.
And then the people who live in trees would develop incredibly heightened senses,
I'd imagine also a lot of spinal problems,
potentially.
all sorts of issues on account of
Good carpentry skills, though, maybe.
Have you ever fallen asleep in a lazy boy in the daytime? You've dozed off in a lazy boy in the daytime.
Guy, it happened very recently.
And then have you tried to spend a full night's sleep on a lazy boy by night?
No.
They're totally different experiences. It's the same chair. By day, the lazy boy is one of the most comfortable and desirable places for a kip. But by night, you'll be tossing and turning, you'll be furious, you'll be cold. It's not quite right.
Doesn't make
And
any
to
sense,
me,
does it?
the comfortability in a tree is similar. By
Right.
day, great place to be, a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. Anything's possible. The sky's the limit. You're higher than everyone else. That always feels good. By night, you're in a tree, you're looking at the houses, you're
Yeah.
resentful, you're frustrated.
Yeah.
You're struggling to find somewhere to lie down.
This is one of those situations where I think novelty plays in.
Oh, done it always.
Trees are a novelty for us. That's why we love them.
Tim and I also, for the first time here, I would say, are on different branches. I'm on sort of a bough of the tree that's beneath. It's sort of an offshoot where there are three boughs are shooting off the main trunk, and Tim is, well, he's just on a different branch. And
I'm on a different tributary.
It's a nice feeling.
We're on slightly different levels. I'm actually higher than Guy right now, which is a first in all senses. You're a tall guy who loves getting high.
Well, we don't need to put that on the record, but it
He
does.
absolutely refuses to operate without a little bit of something in his system. Hey, speaking of which, maybe we should get into a segment.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. It lends itself quite nicely, doesn't it, to the introduction of our very popular and world famous segment, Drugs in a Tree.
Drugs in a tree.
So you can be in a tree sober, and that's great. You can
You
be,
can
in
be
a tree,
out of your tree drunk.
Yeah.
I've heard that
and
before.
you can be in your tree. You can pretty much blend any sort of combination of substances in trees that you so choose. And today we are on a substance called LSD. Tim, what's that?
LSD, also commonly known as acid, this is an interesting one because it's our first man-made drug that we've been on in the tree. I've forgotten the guy's name who invented it, but it got invented in like the 50s accidentally. And the guy took an incredibly high dosage and went on a bicycle ride. And
Was he in Europe?
Yes.
Good on him.
And had the time of his life. And so acid's got a birthday, and not a lot of drugs have birthdays because they're naturally occurring. Your marijuanas, your psilocybin, which is the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, your alcohols. We don't know what the birthdays are for those, but we do have a birthday for acid. I wish I knew it. Wish I'd done the research.
Don't
But
feel
it's-
too poorly about it.
Hoffman is the name that's coming to me. Dr. Hoffman.
Well,
maybe that's the guy.
We've had what Dr. Hoffman would call a microdose, which means that you're not sort of totally untethered from reality, but your perspective is slightly askew, enjoyably so.
Yeah.
And not unlike psilocybin, it does give you a real sense of oneness with your surrounds. It's actually not unlike what I've heard the highest plane of meditation described as, where your notion of individual consciousness kind of melts into the idea that we are all one larger living entity.
Oh, Monty.
Everything is shared.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. I don't feel especially elevated or high, if you will, but I certainly feel fantastic.
I feel really good. And the trouble with drugs in a tree, if there is a trouble, which there isn't, it's just good, clean fun, is that Monty and I are not quite sure if it's just the elated feeling of being outside in the sunshine and being in a tree, which we don't normally experience. It's hard to tease the joy of that out from the joy of having a substance rolling around in your bloodstream.
I was going to say one of the big challenges with drugs in a tree is dismounting the tree.
Yeah, that is
That's
another
always
one.
something that
Yes.
you got to face after the fact.
It's all well and good getting in a tree, but at some stage you've got to get out of a tree. But the
That's right.
acid's treating us really well, I would say. It's just like a nice, pleasant glow. Do you know what my favorite thing is about LSD, Guy?
Tell me.
With a lot of things. Oh, is the dog here? There's a dog that seems to live in this tree.
It's not here. It doesn't live in the tree. It lives around the tree.
We might see the dog later. I'm not sure. When you have other drugs, MDMA perhaps, alcohol, probably cigarettes to an extent, nicotine, you get a bad come down. After the good time, you get a bad time. But with LSD and psilocybin, no bad time, just good time. Just good time, reflective time, and then the next day you're like, it, to me, feels like I've had a really good sleep.
Really?
Mm.
Well, to me, it feels like I've had a really big think. And
Yeah.
I sift through the detritus of what I've thought.
Should I hold the selfie cam for a bit?
Yeah, why not? Some of it feels
I haven't
good.
been being a good sharer. So
No, you're
far.
right, mate. That's quite nice because it lends itself very neatly to well, we're gonna have trouble doing this at
This is
the same
gonna
time,
be
aren't we?
tricky.
But this is a segment that we call sandwiches in a tree.
Mm.
Now you're probably wondering
great
what that
segment.
entails. If this is your first time listening or watching,
Oh,
well,
this is going to be quite the balancing act.
basically you take a sandwich and you eat it in a tree.
Mm.
I'll hold on to that there, Tim.
No, it's like I think I've got something going on. Or do you not rate the performance of this scenario? Might be all right. We're just trying to arrange cameras and sandwiches while recording a podcast in a tree. All right, it's all regulation stuff. No one can hear you because you don't have that mic up to your mouth, Monty. But maybe shout. Where'd you get the Sammies?
I was just saying a little bit of ASMR there for my sandwich heads. Bought this sandwich from Coutreau. It's a halloumi and avocado sandwich. We've got a bit of relish,
Mm-hmm.
some spinach, and it's on a Turkish bread. And I see some mayo bursting through a hole on the top there. These have been sweating in the car for about 3 to 4 hours on a very hot Auckland day.
It's called maturing.
Mm.
They've just been maturing by themselves.
They've been growing up. And nothing like eating an adult sandwich. It's a good time.
It looks really tasty. And I was quite hungry in the moments leading up to getting into this. No, I almost want to let it build. It's just going to be
Okay.
real good. So
So the strategy here for the listener, can you just
This-
walk them through it?
the strategy here for the listener is that Guy's going to eat some more of his sandwich while I sort of, I guess, shoulder the responsibility of the podcast and the intervening moments, which it might be a good opportunity for me to visually describe for those who aren't joining us on the televisual production of this broadcast. It's Turkish bread. Guy already mentioned that. Avocado, fresh spinach, baby spinach, if I'm not mistaken. Relish, halloumi. It looks really good, like a good combination of flavors. I'm going to make a prediction and say that it could do with hot sauce. That's what I'm going to say. Having not even smelt it or tasted a single bite, I'm going to say that that is a sandwich that could have benefited from hot sauce.
Oh, people who like hot sauce say that about everything, though.
I'll just translate that. People who say that about hot sauce
I was clear.
say that about
People
everything.
understood it. People like the sound of me chewing into their ear.
I literally tried to engineer a situation where we wouldn't encounter this again, but we've found a way to get Monty chewing
Yeah.
into the mic, and now I will do so.
I'll always remember when you chastised me in our early friendship and recording days, Tim, for eating on mic. And it's honestly a delight to see you, a man of 33, in a tree, breaking all the rules.
Can I say this? It turns out, Guy, you won. Congratulations.
I did win that one. There we go. Early thoughts, Tim.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. In fact, I think it might be time for our next segment.
Go ahead.
Well, everybody,
Do you want me to introduce
I'd
it?
love for you to.
Okay. Well, this is a very exciting time. It's always an honour when it's not just us in the tree, but when someone else is involved as well. And today, it's very exciting for us to introduce our guest on the ground. It's the inimitable, the incomparable Pax Assadi. Pax, hi.
Hi.
How you doing, Pax?
Good. I'm just watching NBA highlights on my Instagram, if that's all right. If
How's
you guys-
everybody doing?
Could you just hold off for a second?
No,
yeah,
well,
totally. No, I'll go back to the sandwiches. All right. You know, Pax. He's
I'm-
really met
I'll-
us halfway.
I'll let Tim do that. I'm not going to let you do that, Pax. I'm just
Yeah.
hoping, even just right out the gate,
Yeah.
you can watch the highlights,
Yeah.
mute the audio. How's it going down there on the ground?
It's actually going really well. I'd like to point out that the camera that's recording me is in a bush, but I'm out in the open. So what that means is that to people who are playing on the playground, kids playing on the playground, their parents, a lovely woman just listening to music on her phone, I look like a fucking insane person.
Yes. Do you feel vulnerable out there on the ground?
I feel really vulnerable and genuinely uncomfortable. I look like I'm on LSD and I think I'm on 3 News. That's what I feel like I look like. Oh, my pack just dropped out.
Oh, can you
Can't
hear
hear
us
you.
anymore, or you can't?
I'm fiddling. I'm fiddling.
Okay.
I'm fiddling. There you go. I can. Oh.
So, not sure if Pax can.
I'm giving the dongle a fiddle. There
Okay.
we. Oh.
Can you hear? Can you hear me now, Pax?
I can hear you, and now I can't hear you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Hold on a second. Hold your horses. Do not freak out.
I'm holding my horse.
Pax is holding the. I think he's holding the pack now.
Yeah.
For my eyes.
I think I need a.
Yeah. Hey mate, just hold it gently. I'll describe the technology a little bit. We've got a lot of wireless gear going on.
There we go.
And that's kind of
Okay.
what we're in the biz packs. We call that line of sight operation. So just make sure nothing is getting in the way of that thing
Yeah.
and the other little
Pax,
radio.
could you please
communicator.
just wave towards where you think we are?
He's not doing. He's doing.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
He looks
Yeah,
insane.
you're not far off. We're just a little to your left there. I just like
There?
to- yeah, you're waving right at us now.
Yeah, great,
It's like you're
great.
looking at us.
I would have loved to be in the tree.
Nah, not really how it works.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, it's not.
Yeah.
We're in the tree.
Yeah, the segment's called Guest on the Ground. So for you to even express, the desire to be in the tree, while fair enough, it's also out of line.
Can I just? And I'm gonna ask this question. And look, I like both you guys. I think you're both good guys. I've come up with you in the industry. Tim, also you as well, Tim. Yeah, we've come up together in this industry, and I never want to think the worst of you, either of you.
Okay.
But does me being on the ground have anything to do with my ethnicity?
Absolutely not. Certainly not on the sort of
Oh, hold
upper
on.
conscious level of thought. It did not cross my mind
Yeah.
that us in the tree and you on the ground could be correlated
Now,
to,
let-
to
Boys,
race.
I've bitten
Let
off
me-
more than I can chew in more ways than one
Okay.
by getting Pax on the show here.
Let me also ask: do you think your subconscious has played a part?
Oh, look,
Undoubtedly.
I'll field that one. No. So Tim and I obviously at odds here.
Pax,
Yeah.
you're dealing with 2 young guys
Yeah.
who are from Christchurch. I don't know if you know a lot about Christchurch. but
Pax
it's
spent a lot of time in Christchurch.
not exactly
spent-
celebrated for its
I
diversity.
lived
Guy,
in-
you're going to pop out the headphone, please.
I
Please
lived in
stop
Christchurch
doing what you're
for
doing.
I lived in Christchurch for 3 years,
Mhm.
and can I say
What
this?
what part of the church were you in?
I was in Kashmir
Yeah. Beautiful Kashmir Hills.
The Hills
for
are Alive with
for
fire.
a 6-month period while my dad set up the business that my parents started down there,
Mhm.
and then we moved out to Rolleston,
Aye.
truly a cesspool.
Yes, big
And,
time.
and then my
Absolute
parents,
shithole.
yes, complete shithole. Then I left to start my stand-up career at the age of 19, and my parents bought a beautiful, beautiful lifestyle block in West Melton.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
The burgeoning regional suburb of West Melton.
yeah,
Is,
yeah.
is that where they are to this day?
And that is where they are to this day. And can I say, Christchurch is hands down my least favorite place in the country.
Wow.
Are you serious? I
Yeah.
thought it because the times when I've been back to Christchurch recently, I've gone. You know what? The city's on the up.
I
Fast Eddie's, is that what it's called? The music venue.
Yeah. It's pretty dire.
Oh.
I don't want to get too into it,
Yeah,
but
let's not.
my hatred for Christchurch stems from things I've been called, and one of those things rhyme with Burry and Duncher. Burry Duncher.
Far out.
Yeah.
Hey, we can get into if you're not getting into this because you don't want to, you don't.
Yeah.
But if you're not getting into it because you think it's inappropriate for podcast in a tree, I got news for you. We don't know what the rules are.
Yeah,
here.
that's right. The things are different up here. We're allowed to
Okay.
do what and as we please.
Okay.
Limited, not limited to, but including
Hey, Pax, tell me.
I've been called. Okay, fine.
Tell me a
fine.
delightful
You know
story
what?
of when you got a racial epithet thrown
I
at you
got
by a
called-
Cantabrian.
Someone yelled "dirty curry muncher" to me at Riccarton Mall.
and what did
This
you,
might be contentious, but can I say something?
You know
to
what?
That person? Fuck
was
that
it
guy.
was it coincidental that I was eating a curry and I hadn't showered in months? Yes.
Yes.
No,
is.
I was in line for a cupcake,
Ah.
and apparently I was taking too long to choose my cupcake, and the guy.
It was someone in the line?
That is
There was
a
someone in the line.
fucked
It was
place
the
to
guy
be.
directly behind me
That
in
is
the line.
that is like the unbridled confidence of a white person who's never left Christchurch before. That is
Absolutely.
disgraceful.
They're in a cupcake store. I would not expect that kind of behaviour in a cup. Well, I don't want it anywhere, but I wouldn't expect it at a cupcake store.
Where would you expect it, Tim?
This is a really
BK.
this is a really hard time for me to bring it up, but I need you to finish that sandwich because my right leg is keeping me balanced right now, and the pins and needles are indescribable. I've more or less lost entire feeling in my bottom half.
I'm not quite sure what the outcome is of what Guy's describing, but I needed to
repo
readjust
pretty
himself.
badly.
Hey, Pax.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't see yourself moving back there?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from you.
Tim saying you can't see yourself moving back to Christchurch.
Oh, to Christchurch?
But what if Christchurch needs you? Do you know what I mean? Like,
In
at
what
point
sense? In what sense?
to make it better?
He doesn't know Christchurch shit.
I don't-
Are you
oh,
kidding
I-
me? Listen to the way this town treated this man.
I would rather live anywhere. I would rather live in a tree.
Wow.
I would rather live in that tree than live in Christchurch.
Shit, man.
Christchurch
getting a
can
lot of-
suck my unwiped ass.
Pax, that sounds dirty.
No, I'm going to double down on that if I can. Can I say this? As someone born and raised in Christchurch?
Yeah.
Hey, Christchurch can suck my dick. Is that all right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine.
Cool.
I think I don't know. I got no. I spent 18 years of my life there, and I've got no strong feelings towards or about Christchurch, which probably says something in and of itself.
Guy,
My
do you
biggest
reckon-
regret when I
put
was in
yourself
Christchurch.
here.
Can I just finish the story,
It's
please?
mid-
My biggest no.
1930s.
I'm going to finish my
We're in
story. I'm
Germany.
finishing my story because I was talking first.
A strapping.
My biggest
orator.
regret in Christchurch
Yeah.
is once I was in line at Rickenham Mall for a cupcake, and there was a guy in front of me, and he was
Yeah.
taking so long
Yeah.
to order the cupcake, and I said, "Do you need a hand?"
Yeah.
And he said, "No, I'm okay."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, I'll leave it alone then." But I could tell that the guy did need a hand,
Yeah.
and I didn't give it to him.
Yeah.
And
Did you
I
say
have to
anything
I have
after?
to live with that. After that, yeah, I said something I regret.
What did you say?
I said he's a Burry luncher.
Those words specifically?
I can't remember the first consonants of each word. but
Right.
Pax, you won't be able to appreciate this in the moment, but I've actually taken a high angle shot now to show Guy's diminishing power. I'm using
Yeah.
cinema now to reflect the
Great.
changing dynamics of the podcast.
That's
Actually,
great, and I really appreciate that.
Pax, it's so nice having you here, and we're quite excited to debut a brand new segment with you.
Yeah.
Called? Well, it's called Biscuits on the Ground.
Oh, thank God. I thought it was we bought you a ticket to Christchurch.
No, it's called Biscuits on the Ground.
Yeah.
So if I'm not much mistaken, you should have a couple of biscuits
I
in your
do.
pocket there,
I have
Pax.
them in
Just
my hands
Please
right now.
oh, you've got them in your hands. Please remove one of the biscuits from the packet, Pax.
Is this all biodegradable packaging?
Always,
Fantastic.
Absolutely not.
it takes the biscuits out of its skin,
Having a little bit of
or else it gets.
Describe
The
what you're
potty
seeing
again.
and how you're feeling.
So what I'm seeing is a plastic packet that is surprisingly shut tight. I'm having a little bit of issue finding where there we go, found it. I found
We
it.
like to keep things hygienic here at Podcast in a Tree.
And so I'm seeing what I assume is a Christmas themed gingerbread type morsel.
I think they were themed.
Oh, you've dropped out again.
Well,
Hold on
I'm
one
not
second.
saying anything interesting.
Let me
so.
fiddle. Yeah.
Pax, can you hear me now?
Can't hear you. I can hear you're in and out.
Oh, I see. Just come
There
a
you
little
go.
closer.
Oh.
You come a little closer to us.
Do you reckon I should
think.
come a little closer?
And just clip it to your chest, your t-shirt.
My chest here.
Yeah. I reckon that's good. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, now I can
'Cause
hear you nice and clean.
I got to get the skinny on this cookie situation.
Okay, so I'm pulling out a cookie. It's a star. It's a beautiful Christmas star. I'll hold it up to the camera. I don't know if the camera can see it very well, but
Me neither.
it's a beautiful gingerbread Christmas cookie with some lovely white icing that's lovely and firm and crispy, with some silver glitter that I'm assuming is edible, like it's not glitter from like a stationery store, because that would be, I mean, it would be bad for me. And so,
Yeah, it's definitely not from a stationery store or nothing sinister like that.
yeah.
We
Well,
didn't
I mean,
make them.
I don't know why you had to reinforce it like that.
No worries, man. Have the biscuit.
Is he eating it? Is he going to eat it?
Yeah, just have it.
You guys know I have children, right? Like, I don't
Yeah,
wanna-
yeah,
we
yeah.
love
know
your
you got
kids, man.
Yeah, they're great.
You're
don't
gorgeous girls. Are you kidding me?
I would hate for something.
I would hate for someone to have one of those kids.
Has he eaten the shitty cook? Has he
Yeah.
eaten the shitty cookie? yet?
No, yeah,
I don't have life insurance. Can I just say that?
yeah. I know. I love those kids.
Okay.
He's fucking eating it, isn't he? He's fucking idiot. He's so stupid. He's eating the cookie.
I think he can hear us.
Oh,
Hey, how's that biscuit?
Can I say, I am not a big fan of cookies, but this cookie is really tickling me.
damn!
That's so
Suit the
good.
No,
applause.
literally, because that is glitter that I shouldn't be eating. It's
Oh,
tickling
shit.
my throat, and I am scared.
Yeah, it's going to make
Oh,
you feel
no.
pretty sick. But the actual biscuit itself has been baked with nothing but actual cooking ingredients, so please enjoy.
And just a little bit of THC.
That's right. No, it's the sort
That's
of trickery.
tender hugs and
Kisses.
kisses.
Misspelt with a C.
I love it. It was a great cookie.
Awesome. Out of 7,
It's a weird number to measure a cookie's deliciousness.
I think it's a really good number. Because you can't fuck around with rating stuff out of a 7 because there's no middle.
Out of 7,
3.5.
Damn it.
I give it a I'm gonna give it a 5.62.
That's fucking big, and I love the second decimal place.
Yeah, they're really taking the piss out of your ranking system there, Tim.
It's massive.
Well, it's been. I think that biscuit on the ground was a huge success. Pax,
Boring.
Yeah,
while we've got you, can I ask you what's your relationship to trees? Did you climb them? Have you climbed them? Do you like them?
I'm a big now that I'm a there's some children.
Yeah, we
moving
can
closer
see
to
that,
me
and they can't see us.
Hold on,
So-
describe what's happening, Pax.
So there's a kid with a helmet who I assume is like mentally challenged, and then there's another kid with a hat. I think a hat, and they're moving closer to me, and I have to tell you guys I have a phobia of white children.
Just white kids?
Yeah. Oh God, she's chasing a butterfly. That is terrifying.
It might be more sinister. She might be chasing a moth.
Yeah. No. Oh God, she's getting close. So let's wrap this up, guys. Sorry, what was the question?
Trees.
My
you like
question
them?
is
Have you
why
climbed
are you
them?
so scared of white kids?
I mean, have you seen
Yeah,
any horror movie?
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're always possessed, huh?
They're always possessed. I mean, these two are definitely possessed.
Your
I am.
relationship to trees.
I am a oh, here they come. They're coming your way.
Hello.
yeah. We're
Hi.
just in the tree.
I'd say this, if we're not arrested after this, I don't know really what the Auckland police are doing.
They're 1,000% gonna murder you in your sleep. Okay, guys. I have to fess up.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Shit, this is big. Here it comes.
Now that I own a house in Auckland,
Here he is.
I am a raging capitalist.
Oh.
Really?
And, yeah. I was really left leaning before I owned a house. I wanted to bring down the man. I wanted full socialism. Now that I own a house and I see the value of my house rising by the day,
Mm-hmm.
the capitalist pig inside of me has taken over,
Yeah.
and really taken. It's choking me with its sweaty fat hands,
Oof.
Oh my God.
and it wants me to want nature to burn and for buildings to rise.
That's fucking sick as hell, dude. I think it's important throughout your life to not be afraid of personal growth, and it sounds like you've been doing, after you bought your house, a
Yeah.
lot of growth.
Yeah, man, and I'm really proud of myself for really opening myself up to the true me. I've bought my wife a Skoda Octavia. I've bought myself a BMW 116 M Sport, and I'm really just leaning into it.
Is
Life's
that
good.
true? Both of those?
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, that is so sick.
That's really cool. Fossil
I heard
fuels.
you-
Fossil fuels are there
I
for the
heard you
burning.
bragging about the Skoda at
Yeah.
a gig the other night, but I didn't know about the BMW Sport.
Yeah, 116 M Sport actually.
Yeah, the BMW Sport. Now,
Yeah, and I'm sick of green. I'm sick of oxygen.
Yeah.
so this
Go off,
is all in
Pax.
response to sort of exploring your childhood relationship to trees. This is where you're at.
Yeah, this is where I'm at. I would love to see just apartments here.
What do you say in this reserve where these kids are currently playing right now?
Yeah.
And would families live in the apartments?
It doesn't really matter to me as long as I can own a few of them. It doesn't matter who's
Do you live in
them.
the ones you own?
Say that again?
Do you live in the ones you own?
I own one. And I live in it, but I'm definitely planning to not live in it and own multiple.
Yeah, no, and so
I'm going to get you to hold that.
will you rent those out?
Yeah, probably at a price that they're not worth.
And what happens if something goes wrong with the apartment? Whose problem would that be?
Well, nobody's really.
Well, it'd be a bit of a problem for the people living in it, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, but they can just deal with it, and I'll just. I mean, just be thankful that you have a roof over your head.
Wow. This
You
took
know?
a real turn.
So I think that's probably as good a place as any to leave it with our guest, Pax Assadi. You can check him out online if you're a true villain and like-minded people. Want to hang out with them.
Pax, you took us on such a journey as a guest.
Oh,
No,
Guy, you okay?
just had a foot slip on the branch.
Yeah.
Hazardous for a second, but it's a delight to have you as a guest on the
Can
podcast.
Can I plug some stuff?
Yeah, please.
Sure, we don't know when this is coming out or if it will, or if we're about to get arrested. So there's a lot of question marks on the
Right,
production.
it doesn't matter then. It's fine.
No, but it could be huge. So
I'd quite like to hear what it
I
is.
mean, I'd love to plug my accountant Gary
Yeah?
Whithold.
Do you want to plug him like
What
in a sort of romantic
go-
sense or mention him?
I mean,
Is he a good-looking cat?
he's if you're into like short, bald, like sweaty guys,
Yes.
then he's
And this is the guy you
It's
said
a
who
bit of
knows
me.
heaps about the Cayman Islands.
yeah. For some reason, he knows a lot about the Cayman Islands, which is weird, but he tells me about it all the time. But Gary Whithold, he's a great guy, and he will claim anything under tax. If you like, he'll figure out a way to claim anything you want, even the most like clearly this is not a business expense, Gary. I will not be using this for business. And he's like, mate, I'll figure it out. And I'm just like, Gary, this is why I'm with you. So find him in your yellow pages, Gary Whithold. Give him a call if you really want to get around paying tax.
Good on you, Pat. You've put forward such refreshing opinions on here.
Yeah.
Fuck anyone who doesn't own a house currently. Fuck paying taxes.
Yeah, just work harder.
Fuck the environment.
Yeah.
And most notably as well, Christchurch truly can go to hell if it hasn't already.
Really
Yeah.
capturing the ethos of podcast in a tree here.
Was there anything else you wanted to plug, or was that genuinely just for Gary? Give him a bit of a shout out.
And I have a TV show coming out with Friggin' Angebro called Friggin' Angebro on the Road. And I have a sitcom coming out sometime next year called Raised by Refugees, which, in my opinion, should not be allowed in our country anymore. Those refugees that are in the show are my parents, but we have enough of them.
Mean.
Lean in, brother.
I like it.
And so that show is about my upbringing in Auckland, and it'll come out sometime next year. So keep an eye for that.
Perfect.
And vote National.
Vote National, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
If you can't bring yourself to put a big old tick next to that beautiful yellow David Seymour, then just biff it over National's way.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and they'll figure out this shit show that is New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Pegs,
right.
do you want to help us with our final segment?
Sure, why not?
Cool.
It's called the Treaderboard,
Yeah.
and it's a leaderboard for trees.
Yeah.
And so the tree first of all needs a
Their sandwich didn't get enough play on this episode, but boy, it was good.
What do you give it out of 10?
8.
I think that's what you gave the last sandwich. I give it a 7. I thought it was okay, but I think we shouldn't let it sweat in the car for so long. Whose fault is that?
I thought it was really good.
Not the sandwiches. I mean, look, I was hungry. I wanted it. But yeah, so basically, Pax,
Yeah.
you've got a great angle on this tree here.
Yeah,
Could you
great.
please give it a name?
A name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it National.
Okay.
National the tree.
Yeah.
Just to give you a heads up as well, Pax, it'll be joining Susan,
Yeah.
our first tree, and 660. Angela Driver got to name the last Pahutakawa that we were at
Yeah,
at
great.
the beach.
And then National.
Yeah,
And then National.
that's right. So the scores out of 24 for hours in the day, we've got 5 different criteria.
Yes.
Those criteria are, first of all, was it natural beauty?
Yep, that's
You're
one.
Yep.
outside, you're having a look. What do you think out of 5?
This one's butt ugly.
Okay,
So
interesting.
and you know what? It's not the tree's fault.
Okay.
There is other shrubbery invading the tree
Mhm.
when it doesn't belong in that tree, and that shrubbery should go back to where it came from. And that's what makes it worse.
So
I'm going to give it like a 1.
Okay, so that's
1
1 out of 5.
Devastating.
Pretty ruthless. Tim, I'll throw to you on this one. Climbability.
It's the best one we've been to so far. I know we've only been to 3.
So is that a 5?
4.
4. Interesting. So that's a 5 out of a potential 10 so far. Pax, again, I'm going to have to throw to you. I need a read on the health of the tree.
Good health. Good health. Green. Big.
That fucking idiot's eating more of the cookie.
Fluffy. I can't breathe very well. Fluffy. Is fluffy a word to describe a tree?
Not usually.
Sure. I think I'm high as fuck right now. And
You look good.
thank you, man.
I can't see your face very clearly because it's obscured by leaves, but what I'm
Yeah.
picking up is real nice.
Yeah. And I'm gonna give the health of the tree a 4.5.
All right, so that's 9.5 out of a possible 15.
Yeah.
We're now going to go to rest and relaxation. I will take this one. I'm not finding this tree to be particularly restful
Yeah.
or relaxing. There's a lot of movement. It's not a naturally comfortable place for sitting.
True.
But, I mean, there's a lot of perches. We could fit a lot of people on this tree. And I had a good time up high. I'm going to give it a 3. So that takes it to 12.5 out of a possible 20.
Yeah.
And then finally, it's X Factor, which is done out of 4.
Ooh.
I think we can probably put our heads together and try and figure out a number for the tree
I
here.
think we should
Yeah.
all jointly do
X
that.
Factor includes everything.
Pax, what's the number that just flows into your head?
Out of
4.
2.8.
I'm going I love this tree and I love the climbability of it, but it's got no X factor at all.
It's vanilla.
What do you think about what we had kids coming into? We had kids, we got dogs, we got.
It's not what X factor is to me.
I don't know if that plays into it, guy.
X factor is like a kind of almost a mana of the tree.
So
Yeah.
what
So
am
the
I hearing then? What's the
1.
number? 1.
1.
Gee
Yeah.
whiz.
Wow.
So that's a pretty brutal score there for national.
And I mean, X Factor, a score of 1 for X Factor is really, I mean, it is in line with the National Party as well, which is really fitting.
yeah, that's right.
That didn't enter into my decision, but it is kind of a nice sort of poetic symmetry
Yeah.
to the whole thing.
Yeah,
isn't it?
So that means that National, the tree, is currently 3rd in our treater board with a score of 13.5. Lots of room for improvement. Pax, thank you so much. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us on the ground
Thank you
there.
for having me. Thank you for having me.
Tim,
Yeah.
obviously a huge thanks to you. For,
I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you also to me.
yeah, well, that's who I was thanking. So what a coincidence. And well, a huge thank you to the kids who stopped by.
Thanks, kids.
Yeah, thanks, kids.
Really good guys.
The future of this country, really.
Yeah.
The scary, white,
Terrifying.
tiny future
And a
of this
huge
country.
shout out to the New Zealand housing market on behalf of our
Yeah,
friend
big
Pax.
shout out. Big volatile shout out.
Big bubbly shout out.
yeah.
Well, that's all we've got time for on this episode of Podcast and Tree. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on a podcast in a tree.
Take nothing but podcasts. Leave nothing but podcasts.